I love Morty, and I hope Morty loves me. I'd like to wrap my arms around him and feel him inside me.
Oh crap!
Rick Potion number 9 led to most of the crazy multiverse theories about Rick and Morty, and it led to a lot of conversations about consent due to Morty basically trying to use science roofies on Jessica.
You're gonna try to take the high road on this one? You're a little creep, Morty. You're just a little creepy creep person.
Before I make this thing love me, then turn it into a mantis monster and then walking meatloaf, be sure you subscribe to GameSpot Universe on YouTube, share it with other nerds that you love, and add me on Twitter at Buddy Hutton. Now let's break down Rick and Morty Season 1, Episode 6, Rick Potion number 9. Rick Potion number 9 is a play on Love Potion number 9, which was a 1959 song and a film from 1992 starring Sandra Bullock. It's about scientists using chemicals to get people to have sex with them.
I'm a comparative psychobiologist. Why?
The first compound that Rick makes for Morty is made out of vole oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone that simultaneously acts as a neurotransmitter in your brain, and it's associated with feelings of love after sexual experiences, and also can be gotten from eating a lot of chocolate, which is why I'm okay being alone.
I extracted it from a vole. Do you know what a vole is, Morty?
I looked up voles. They are sexually mature in a month and sometimes only live to be 3 months old. So they get to have sex after a third into their life, and then they stay with the same person for the rest of their life, never experiencing anyone else. God, I'm glad to be human.
Boy, Morty, I really Cronenberged the world up, didn't I? We got a whole planet of Cronenbergs walking around down there, Morty.
David Cronenberg is a horror and sci-fi film director known for his awesomely gruesome practical effects. The ending with Morty walking around shocked by the realization that there are infinite universes is done exceptionally well. The song being played is Look On Down from the Bridge by Mazzy Star. The post-credits scene heals the wounds caused by these potentially devastating realizations by showing us that the Smiths on the Cronenberg Earth are happier than when they had Rick and Morty. Alternately, the Cronenberg Rick and Morty walking off into the sunset made me feel like everyone has a place in the multiverse.
Here's a screwdriver. All right, Morty, thank you very much. We got 1 screw turn, and 2 screw turns, and...
That scene made me laugh way more than it should have, but it also came with the realization that the Rick and Morty that we're currently viewing on screen up to now, we have no idea if it's the same Rick and Morty that we saw in the last episode, or if any of the episodes have contained the same Rick and Morty. And also, the fact that the Rick and Morty in the opening credits scene during the pilot are probably dead because that neutrino bomb went off is all awesomely mind-blowing, and the reason why this show is so great for fan theories.
Neutrino bomb armed.
Okay, on to references and homages and whatnot.
You don't bring dead babies to Passover.
Okay.
When Principal Vagina says you don't bring babies to Passover, he's referencing the Jewish remembrance of God sparing the Jewish people from the angel of death killing the firstborn sons of families who didn't paint their houses with blood. I mean, sure, they were all still Egyptian slaves at that point, but at least they had their boys.
I need one of your hairs. This isn't Game of Thrones.
Ow!
Rick mentions Game of Thrones when Morty is about to contribute some of his DNA by unzipping his pants. I think this is referencing the gratuitous sex that's normally in a Game of Thrones episode. I mean, it's always awesome, but not narratively required per se.
Flu! Yo, you gotta be aware. Aware of all the flu. Up in the air. I'ma get me a shot, make the flu go away. Flu-hating rapper, just rapping away.
The guy rapping at the flu season dance is Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon, if you've listened to his podcast ever, loves to freestyle rap. Normally, he talks about your mama, but, you know, he could rap about flus too. He could do it. Morty does an awesome over-the-hood roll on the ship here. This Jerry scene from the intro finally has context to it. He was killing mantises. Summer is watching a show called Pregnant Baby, which is obviously a show about a baby getting pregnant while it's inside of its mother. There's a rad moon match cut here with a mesa in the background that looks like the mesa from Close Encounters.
You know what though, Morty? This right here is gonna do the trick, baby. It's koala mixed with rattlesnake, chimpanzee, cactus, shark, golden retriever, and just a smidge of dinosaur. Should add up to normal humanity.
Since I'm not a geneticist, I think the only part that I would question here is the cactus.
Thank God!
God? God's turning people into insect monsters, Beth. I'm the one beating them to death. Thank me.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry has so many dumb, awesome lines in this episode. He's a simple man, which makes him perfect for killing monsters with a crowbar. The Smith's zombie-ready car here is an homage to Dawn of the Dead.
I wish that shotgun was my penis.
If it were, you could call me Ernest Hemingway.
I don't get it, and I don't need to.
Ernest Hemingway killed himself by putting a shotgun into his mouth and pulling the trigger. This was the darkest blowjob joke ever. There's really no reason to show the keys that Rick throws landing on the desk other than to show that the ionic defibrillator is leaking, which may be why it blew up.
The answer is don't think about it. It's not like we can do this every week anyways. We get 3 or 4 more of these tops.
The line that Rick says that they can only do this 3 or 4 times is kind of a meta joke from the writers to us saying, like, we know this is a narrative plot device, kind of a get out of jail free card for whenever we get into, a plot hole, but we're gonna utilize it, we're aware of it, so it's funny.
You know the thing about a shark?
Summer is reenacting a scene from Jaws here. The scene is a description of the sinking of the USS Indianapolis, in which hundreds of soldiers were eaten by sharks or died of hypothermia. The goggles that Rick uses to search for a new dimension are an older model of the goggles that become a focal point in the later episode Rick's D-Minutes. My favorite line from this episode is,
You're not gonna believe this because it usually never happens, but I made a mistake.
there's one thing I can't figure out. The door on the cop card reads 030671. This could be a random number, or it could be March 6, 1971. Dan Harmon was born in 1973. I checked a few more people on the writing staff. If you guys could help me out with this, that would be awesome. Let me know what you guys think that number could be, either in the comments below or on my Twitter at Buddy Hutton. Make sure you share this video with other nerds that love Rick and Morty as much as we do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, I'm gonna turn into a mantis monster. Just off camera though, because I don't know how to do that effect.